Hi, I'm Kyle Schmidt, Director of Product Development for Humanoid Wake, and I'm here to go over the 1up Chris O'Shea Special Edition Graphic Wakeboard. Now, this board was designed mainly for riding behind the boat, but we wanted to keep the cable park in mind, so we added some great features. We set this board up with a really stiff flex pattern, so it feels really poppy out on the water. And we were able to accomplish this by adding some impressions in between your feet. As you can see here, we have an impression on both sides of the board and then one through the middle. The more vertical walls of these impressions add stiffness to the core without having to add stringers to the core. There's also a large step down to the rails of the board, which also contribute to the stiffness in between your feet. These features in the middle fade out to the nose and tail and actually transform into nose and tail features that come out of the board. And the more vertical walls on either side of these nose and tail features actually add stiffness to the flex pattern as well. When you flex this board, you'll find that it's really stiff in the middle, with just a little bit of flex on the nose and tail to keep the board feeling lively under your feet. Now we've set this board up with really wide stance options to give you stability out on the water. We've also switched our inserts to metric M6 inserts so you can find replacement binding screws easier across the globe, but also to give you a better interface between your bindings and the board to help decrease heel lift and make the board more responsive under your feet. The core of the 1up is made of an exotic, lightweight Pologna wood, and it's wrapped with a lightweight triax weave fiberglass, and this is all covered in a durable nylon top and bottom. This really makes the Chris O'Shea Keith Jensen collaboration graphics pop. When you flip the board over, you'll find a double concave bottom, and this double concave bottom accomplishes two things. It creates lift for more speed and more pop, but it also gives you a center spine down the middle of the board, which moves water away from center to soften your landings. Now on either side of this double concave you'll find a pair of channels, so we're calling this a quad channel bottom. These quad channels actually accomplish two things as well. They capture water when you're edging to give you more speed, and the more vertical walls of these channels also contribute to the stiffness in between your feet. Now all these center features fade out nicely through the nose and tail to give you a clean water flow by the fins for plenty of traction out on the water. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this board was designed mainly for riding behind the boat, but we wanted to keep the cable park in mind. So we added some great board-saving features. On either side of the board, you'll find a variable edge. So this gives you a radius in between your feet, and this radius lifts the lamination lines away from the surface of the board, so you're not grinding on your lamination lines. This radius tapers out to the nose and tail to a sharper edge, so you get plenty of bite near the fins. We've also added a canted feature to the nose and tail, since that's the part of the board that takes a lot of abuse when olling onto and coming off of rails and ramps. This canted feature that wraps around the nose and tail of the board lifts the edge of the board up 1 degree, which moves the wear line in towards the center of the board and keeps it away from the lamination lines of the board. Now to complement these board-saving features, we've wrapped the entire perimeter of the board with real D90 urethane sidewalls, and we've also rounded these sidewalls so the sidewalls act like a bumper on any direct side hits. This helps your board last longer through everyday use on the boat and at the cable park. Now we've bent this board with what we call a hybrid continuous rocker, and what I mean by that is a typical continuous rocker board usually only has one smooth bend or one radius from nose to tail. What we've done is we've combined multiple bends or multiple radii to give you what's close to a 3-stage rocker board without having the big flat spot in the middle, which can make a board slow. We wanted to bend this board a lot, but keep it riding fast. So the 142 has 3.2 inches of rocker, the 138 has 3 inches of rocker, and the 34 has 2.8 inches of rocker, which is a lot of bend throughout the series. Now to wrap this board up, we've equipped it with 4 0.8-inch long base bomber fins that are great for riding behind the boat, but they're also great for riding at the park. The top edge of the fins are flat so you can really grind on them. We've also given the board a cool little logo hit, humanoid impression on the tail. Each board comes wrapped in an environmentally friendly board bag with zipper closure and front zipper pouch, where you'll find your fins and fin screws, and a Krink paint marker to go along with the special edition graphics, and an extra set of M6 binding screws so you'll have no problem attaching your bindings to our boards.